Hey team, hope you're all really well. One of the questions that I'm asking at the beginning of my workshops at the moment is what makes a great public speaker? And I tell them to put their answers in the chat, and then I just get a wave of buzzwords coming back at me. Authority, authenticity, confidence, charisma, empathy. And yes, I think all of these things are important, but for me, they miss the mark. Public speaking is about one thing and one thing only, and that is impact. Because otherwise, let's face it, you might as well have just sent everybody an email, saved you a load of stress, saved them a load of time. But if there is one thing that is lacking in presentations in the world right now, it is impact. And I think you can split most presentations into two different types. You've got those on one hand that sap the life and energy from your soul, just send you to sleep. And then on the other hand, you've got those that are actually, to be fair, highly engaging, but their message just gets lost in all of the excitement. Add to that a large proportion of the population who avoid public speaking like the plague. And that's a serious problem because it stops them from fulfilling their full potential and they end up just getting forgotten. And if there's one thing that I've learned curating TEDx Clapham over the course of the last few years, it's some of the best people and some of the best ideas go unnoticed. Paradoxically, it's been those people that I've had to persuade to speak on stages that have gone on to have the most impact. And in the world of thought leadership, if it's a problem, there is no doubt it's just a drop in the ocean when compared to the world of work, a place where, let's face it, the opportunities go to those who firstly have the confidence to put their hands up and put themselves in the mix. And secondly, those who are able to make a lasting impression in front of the people where it really matters. So I've created a program that's designed to tackle this very problem, this lack of impact. And it's designed to do three things. Firstly, it's there to help you improve your confidence so that when you do take the stage or take the mic, you own it. Secondly, it's designed to help you communicate your message with clarity. And thirdly, it's designed to help you create connections with your audience so that they take action after you've delivered your presentations. So if public speaking is something that's been holding you back and perhaps preventing you from fulfilling your full potential, your time over the next few minutes be really well spent watching this video because I'm going to take you through exactly what communicating with impact really involves. Let's move over to the whiteboard. All right, let's do this. So when it comes to communicating with impact, there are three things that you need. And the first thing you need is clarity. And when we're talking about clarity, what we're really talking about here is the message piece of what it is that you're doing. Often we have to present highly complex technical information, but what you need is a system for distilling that information in a way for people that is firstly easy to understand, but also in a way that allows the message to really shine so it doesn't get lost. Second thing you need is connection. And the connection piece is really about your relationship with the audience. Here's a complete reality check for you. Your audience has got a long list of things that they'd rather be doing than listening to you speak. So your job as a presenter is to take them from a place of apathy to a place of action. Next up, we have confidence. Of course, we've got confidence. Confidence underpins all of this stuff. When it comes to confidence, often I think we're all guilty of this. We spend too much time in our heads trying to think ourselves out of our nerves. Some of us suffer from self-doubt in the lead up to delivering something. Other people are fine in the lead up, and then when it comes into the moment, their fight or flight response gets triggered and they end up being completely overwhelmed, forget everything they're meant to be saying. And then we've also got people who don't even speak English as their first language, yet they've got to present in it. And they've got to work twice as hard to get their message out as everybody else. So they're the three elements that you really need when it comes to communicating with impact. And I've created a curriculum around these three pieces to make sure that we are tackling each one from the right action. Let me take you through exactly how it works. So initially, what we're going to do is we're going to kick off with that clarity piece, and you can split the clarity piece up into a couple of different sections. So the first thing we're going to focus on is your structure. Every engaging, persuasive, inspiring presentation you've ever watched or listened to follows exactly the same structure. When you know this structure and you understand it, not only is it going to save you a load of time, but the structure itself is going to force you to stay on topic, which means that your message will have focus and your talk will pack a punch. When you've worked out the structure of your talk, the next thing that you need to do is you've got to learn how to storytell. When it comes to storytelling, maybe you're telling the stories to create a deeper connection with your audience, or maybe it's because you want to try and bring some complex technical information to life. Stories are important because they build a bridge from the rational part of our brains to the emotional part of our brains, the part of our brains where we start making decisions. So you have got to bridge that gap in the right way. And if you can do that, then you've got far more chance of your audience taking action at the very, very end. I should also note that when you can storytell, you won't just be brilliant on stage, you will be amazing at a dinner party too. When we've sorted the clarity piece out, next up, we've got to think about connection. When it comes to connection, there are two areas that you've got to think about. And the first one is your emotional intelligence. When you're presenting, you have to be the most emotionally intelligent person in the room. And that means that you've got to have bucket loads of self-awareness, not just about yourself, but about the topic that you're presenting on. And the second thing it means is you've got to have empathy. When it comes to empathy, the reason why this is important is because if you can articulate the problems that your audience is experiencing better than they can, they will subconsciously associate you with the solution. And that right there is the key to taking people from apathy to action. When your emotional intelligence has gone up a level, we then need to start thinking about your performance intelligence. And your performance intelligence is really about how you deal with different kinds of scenarios. Maybe you're presenting to a small group in a large room, and that small group of people are scattered across the room itself. So it's very, very hard to warm it up and create some kind of atmosphere. Maybe you're delivering a town hall presentation or an all hands meeting presentation to 350 other employees over video. They don't have their cameras on, and you've got to create that level of engagement. Maybe you're delivering a toast at a drinks reception. Maybe you're chairing a panel. All of these different situations will define you as a speaker, and your ability to get the most out of the environment, that is what's going to make you a great presenter. So we've covered the clarity, we've covered the connection. Let's start thinking a little bit about your confidence. And when it comes to confidence, the first thing that needs to be developed is your leadership voice. What I mean by leadership voice, I'm not just talking about the voice that we can hear. I'm talking about the voice that is inside your head. This isn't some sort of fake it till you make it kind of scenario. This is about learning to take your fight or flight response and work with it rather than against it. So there's no conflict going on in your head. When we've got your leadership voice sorted, the next stage is really to start thinking about your stage presence. And your stage presence is about you being able to pick up the mic. And when you pick up the mic and you start talking, people stop what they're doing and they start listening to you, regardless of whether you're delivering something that you've pre-prepared, which you've obviously got to get across as naturally as possible, or whether you're speaking off the cuff. And you have to be equally comfortable and confident delivering in both kinds of scenarios. So that's how the curriculum element of this is going to work. Let me put my other camera back on. So let me tell you a little bit more about what you don't need if you're going to be part of this program. The first thing you don't need is a particular level of public speaking experience. We have people on this program who are first-year professionals, have never had to deliver a presentation in a professional context before, all the way through to C-suite. People who are getting paid to speak across the world and getting paid quite a lot of money to do it too. Everyone is on their own journey. You will all learn different things from each other, and you've all got your own reasons for being there. So don't worry too much about how where you feel like you're at. The next thing you don't need is you don't need to be working towards a particular talk or presentation that's upcoming. If you've got one that happens to be in the lead up, then sure, brilliant, but it's not something that you need. What I do ask for, though, I ask for three things. The first thing I ask for is a desire to learn. I think that's really important. The second thing is you need to be coachable. And the third thing is you need to come with a willingness to get vulnerable, because public speaking is one of those things that does get down to the real core. If you can't bring those things to the table, I don't think this program is quite right for you. But if you've got those, listen on. Let me take you through exactly how the program's going to work. So there are three aspects. We've got the training piece, we've got the coaching piece, and we've got the community piece. And when it comes to the training piece, you're going to be provided with a load of short videos that have been split into modules. Super easy to implement. And alongside those videos, you're going to have worksheets that you can use to take what you're learning and start putting it into practice. I'm also going to throw in a load of blueprints and cheat sheets with things like speech openers, slide designs, storytelling prompts, just to take some of the stress out of presenting. So you've got all these things to hand the next time you're having to create something and you want to nail it. So that's the training aspect. Moving on to the coaching aspect, each week I'm going to give you some homework to do. Spoiler alert, it's probably going to involve you delivering something to camera in some way, shape or form. And this is about helping you to simulate the experience of public speaking. And you're going to post those videos publicly in the community, the program community, which I'll talk about a little bit later. But we've also got a couple of other coaching opportunities. The first coaching opportunity is with live calls. The live calls are going to be with me. They're going to happen every week, and we'll be deep diving into a particular topic, and then I'm going to put you into an exercise of some sort with other members of the cohort to challenge you and test you and put yourself into different presenting scenarios. Alongside the live calls, where you're learning in a group context, you're going to get the chance to work one-to-one with me. I have weekly sprint one-to-one coaching calls that you can book into. Where we can work on something that is specifically happening with you. Perhaps it's happening with you at work and you want some help on that, or to help you go over something that we're covering in the program itself. Now, alongside the training and the coaching, we have the community. And the community is where everyone is kind of the hub for the program. It's where everyone will upload their homework. It's a chance to share wins. It's a chance to just test different public speaking concepts, see whether something works, see whether something doesn't, in an environment that is a safe space. And they're not just your peers. They're not just your peers that you're working with here. They're going to act as your audience members. So it's an amazing place to learn and get some real-time feedback about what it is that you're doing. Now, I'm all about implementation on this program. So here is how it's going to work. I think that you need 12 weeks to really take your public speaking skills to the next level, regardless of whatever your starting base was. So I'm going to give you 12 weeks worth of coaching over the program, but I'm also going to give you the training and the community for lifetime. So you've got lifetime access to all of those things. But when you start working on the program with me, 12 weeks, is more than enough time to help you take it to the next level. So if you would like, let me move over to the other camera. So if you would like to be part of the program, if you're watching this video right now, it means that we are open for enrollment. If you're watching this on a social media platform, comment below and I will get you the details. If you're watching this on the landing page, then if you click the button below, it will show you how to enroll. And let's get this party started.